Hello, welcome back on this very sunny day. Standard. I hope you're well. I thought I would do an update and I wasn't sure if anyone would be interested. There's a fly buzzing around. But I've had loads of questions and comments, so I thought I would do a recovery vlog. So I'm going to be talking through the operation, how my recovery's been, what they did, and just like all of the stuff that's been going on. It's now the 11th of May, 12th of May, and my operation was the 5th of April, so a lot to cover. Strap in, get comfy, get cozy, and let's get into the video. Today's me is very grateful for weekends me, because I forgot I had this and I'm starving and I didn't really have much time to make lunch, so that's gonna be perfect. Obviously I did do a little video which was about the actual surgery day. I think I've shared that with you, I have. But I just thought I'd share like a little recap on how I felt going in, because obviously I didn't know at this point what was wrong with me. And I had been sort of told for 5 years, had suffered for over a decade, and was told that it wasn't endo because it wasn't showing up on any scans, yada, yada, yada. Obviously as we went on and discovered actually right at the last minute that apparently this is in just before I went in, my pre-assessment, I went in for some scans and they said to me, oh, there's nothing showing on the scan. I was like, oh no, I'm really gutted because I really thought it was endometriosis. And the lady was like, well, no, that doesn't mean it's not endometriosis. It means that it's not showing on the scan. The only way, and she said like the gold standard, she must have said, for finding if it was endo is laparoscopy. And I was like, why did nobody tell me this all those years ago when I was asking and having all this chronic pain for so long? Anyway, we won't dwell on that. But if you are going through this, then do advocate for yourself, because it is the most underfunded, most misunderstood, misdiagnosed chronic condition that I am doing research into, that I can see. Obviously there are others as well, but 1 in 10 women globally have endometriosis. It affects people's fertility, mental health. It can cause problems with organs because it's not diagnosed, and then after a while, like mine was attached to my bowel, it could have, you know, if it got to a point where it got really bad, I would need a stoma. Attached to people's bladders, so it's highly intrusive and so desperately underfunded and misunderstood. Even the doctors don't know how to diagnose it. People are told it's IBS, that it's cysts, that all these different things. So do advocate for yourself. I had to just go and keep fighting for it, basically, to be heard. And then I met my surgeon. He was just absolutely wonderful, and he was like, no, I think it's endometriosis, let's get you in. And I was like, pardon? Okay, no one's ever said that to me before. So yes, it's that. But I just wanted to kind of recap on the day, because obviously we didn't know what it was. I was very concerned because I didn't know whether I would come out of surgery having not been told, being told it was not that. I could have come out and it was that, and it was, you know, it affecting me way worse than we thought, and it was, you know, had damaged my organs. I just didn't know what I was going to come out from surgery with, and my concern at the time, because I suffer with health anxiety, was at this point was going in and the anesthetic. I was really worried that so stupid, but this is, you can't argue with health anxiety. I was having this salad the night before and it had like little seeds in it, and I was so worried that a seed would be stuck in my gut and then it would go, I don't even know how this would physiologically work, but it would get stuck in my airway or something like that, and so stupid. Anyway, so I came out of surgery. Obviously I shared the vlog, so I won't share too much. And then the recovery days were, I would say, brutal for the first 2 weeks. And I didn't know how long the recovery would be. She offered me a 2-week sick note. Obviously I'm self-employed, so I can't claim that, unfortunately, because, you know, loss of earnings when you're self-employed is very tricky. But, you know, we had to just recover and get through that process. And those first 2 weeks, I think, because also they fitted a merino coil at the time, and having heard lots of people's responses to when they had the call, most of them say it's the best thing they've ever done, but lots of them say the recovery is brutal. But because I obviously had the recovery from the operation at the same time as the Merino call, I couldn't separate the two, and obviously the actual endometriosis flare up as well. So yes, came out and it was widespread and severe endometriosis. It was on my bowel, left side of my uterus. It was on my pouch of Douglas. It was a lot of places. Being told it wasn't endometriosis at all, to feel and be told that it was widespread and severe. It was a lot to process, and I think I honestly feel like I spent a long time mentally trying to process that. Have I even processed it? I don't really know at the moment, because I think it's such a weird feeling. I almost felt like ashamed because I was, or more like shamed, I guess, because I was told it wasn't that. I just thought maybe, well, it's something I'm doing, like it's something that I have caught. I can't even, this is the whole gaslighting thing, which I think is a problem, a big problem, because I can't even express that. Actually, why would I feel shame over something that's a medical condition? But because I was bloated, I was in pain, I had to cancel plans, I couldn't eat anything I wanted to eat, I just didn't know what it was. I lived in fear of eating something to set myself off, and then I would be going to an event in the evening and I wouldn't eat anything all day because I didn't want to flare up, and then I'd flare up anyway, and it's all because it wasn't to do with foods. Potentially you could still have some food intolerances, but it wasn't to do with foods mainly, so you couldn't help when you were going to have a flare up. But what I want to talk to you about now is the day by day, if you're going through endometriosis, if you're having a laparoscopy excision, and I had the excision, not the ablation, which is where they sort of burn it off. I had the excision, which is where they dig it out. And that's what I'm told. But I had so much confusion and the pain. So I'm going to just go and check on my soup, and then we'll check back in of the things the day by day in case you're going through it, just to give you a bit of a guide of how long this might take you to recover. As I said, she gave me a 2-week sick note, but I didn't have a clue how long this kind of process would take. So if you're going through this, hopefully that is helpful. It is not the day for soup. It's actually so hot out there. But it smells good, actually. I got an offer at my Nectar card when I was popping in for bread the other day. Oh my God, let's talk. Oh no, okay, I'm going to talk about that in a sec. But I thought I would talk through, because I've done a highlight, if you'd like to read it, on my page of every sort of day in the weeks leading up to, after my surgery. Surgery day, it says, I'm most worried about the GA at this point, so I don't want to eat, but I won't be going down till 3 p.m. So I went with a little toast and herbal tea, as I was even worried to have milk at this point. And I went in at 8 a.m. and fast from 8 a.m, only clear liquids till 11. And then the next couple, and then I was out. I was high on morphine at this point. I need to tell you about the shoulder pain, guys. It is absolutely no joke. It's the worst part, in my opinion, of this entire surgery was the shoulder pain. I wasn't prepared for the shoulder pain. They basically fill you up so they can see what they're doing inside of you. And then I didn't know, but because I'd laid still for so long, it was not escaping. So when I went to the toilet for the first time in the evening, it was excruciating, and I was already on morphine and liquid something else for the pain. So yeah, that was something to know if you're going through this. I'm just going to start dishing this up. Also, if you have these, which the leg compress the air in and out, they do not let you sleep, because it's constant. It's like you're just drifting off, and it's and your whole leg vibrates and blows up with air. I thought I was going to get the sleep of my life when I was coming out of surgery. I did not. I had my own room. It was a lovely experience, but I still couldn't sleep. They came in every 3 hours to do OBS, and then the other 3 hours would be topping up the medicine and all these different things. And then, yeah, I just didn't sleep, basically. If you are having it, definitely do the mint tea. It is only herbal, obviously, but it really, really helped me. And obviously it helps to stay hydrated as well. So that's really good for the indigestion, or for clearing the gas. And so how many days would this be? Day 3, I really felt like I'd taken a step back. I was really disappointed. I felt like I was really getting progress, and I think that's the thing, you get a bit ahead of yourself and you're like, oh, I feel better today, let's get on with stuff. And then your body's like, you are healing. And obviously the stitches are internal, so you can't see that healing. So just take it slow as you can. Obviously it's difficult with kids, with work, with, you know, whatever you may need to do around the house or working or anything like that, but just don't rush this part of your recovery, day 3, you know, well, from the beginning, because you'll just put yourself back a step, and that's just not what you want to do, because it just takes longer to recover. Day 4, I kind of felt a bit like I was getting somewhere, and obviously I'm dealing with like the splashback. That's hot. Made a mess. Day 3 I've actually gone back to because I didn't share this. So pain from the gas was absolutely the worst thing by far. And it was really severe when I finally went for a wee. So if you are doing this, and maybe try and go sooner and get up sooner and get it moving around. I felt like a beached whale, so I was really like feeling I couldn't get in and out of bed easily. That was a strange thing, because you can't use, it feels like you can't use your stomach muscles, so I had to like, you have to kind of roll off of bed, so I felt very uncomfortable with that. And I couldn't lay on my side either, which was really uncomfortable. And for me, because of my health anxiety, I was so worried about blood clots. I actually even ended up speaking to the surgeon in the end at 10 o'clock at night, because I'd had this strange feeling in my leg all day and I was really concerned about it. And he put my mind at ease immediately, and that was fine. But he actually just said drink loads of water. So yeah, if you're going through this as well, then drink loads of water. On a more personal note, shall we say, I felt really guilty for the children because it was the Easter holidays and I couldn't do anything with them. Stu was an absolute godsend. He was amazing, like just did everything and looked after the children, all the house, looked after me. Like, I honestly am so lucky to have him. He just did so much, and obviously super grateful for that as well. So just if you are on your own, please get help in. Don't be afraid to ask for help from friends even. Just get people to, you can't drive for a week, so like school runs and things like that if you need help with that, but just sort of be prepared at least for a week that you're not going to be able to do all the things that you're used to doing. Because if you go into this like not realising that, then it's very frustrating not being able to do these things. This lipstick I've got, by the way, it's so bad. It's a Charlotte Tilbury one and it's just terrible. My whole makeup is bad at the moment. Yes, obviously no work, no sick pay. That was a stressor as well. And I'm just not very good at resting. I like to be busy. And obviously it was Easter holidays as well, and so many people were on their lovely holidays, and you know we've done holidays, but I just felt just a bit lost and, you know, not able to do anything, and that was just frustrating really. But yeah, obviously the main feeling I had on day 3 was just really grateful that I had Stu, that I had the operation, that I had people that care for me, and that they gave me an answer to what it was. And that's another thing that took quite a while, wasn't expecting, was that it's not just like you don't feel great in your head like immediately. But yes, lots of vitamin D. It was also a 17-year anniversary. I was just feeling so grateful that the incisions I've got are absolutely minuscule. I'll show you them later, but they're absolutely minuscule, and it's just amazing that he can get like a full camera in there, like the tools to do what he needs to do. But at this point, day 3, all the bruising was coming out, so yeah, that's something to know as well. And obviously your incisions may well be bigger, everyone is different. Okay, day 5, I felt like I really turned a corner on day 5. I felt like I could work again because I could put my laptop on my lap when I was in bed in the soft office, and the shoulder pain finally disappeared at day 5. That was a long time, and the mint tea really helped, and it just sort of disperses in your body. I don't know where it goes, but it's not where you think it will come out. And then I started getting quite a lot of pain because I think I was overdoing it. I was getting up and I was moving around, and my body was like, no hun, like you need to rest still. So I then ended up going back to bed for the rest of the day. Oh my gosh, let's talk about something awful. Hold on, I'm gonna go and finish off my soup, and then this is one to know. In my office now because I have to do some work, but one of the things you need to be aware of is that you should really be taking laxatives after your surgery. This is what the doctors told me, because I like general anaesthetic messes with your bowels, and obviously it was also on my bowels, and it just is so painful going to the toilet after surgery. So make sure you take laxatives. They told me to take them twice a day for 2 weeks, and I took them twice a day the first day, and well, no, must have been like the second day or third day, and oh my god, they worked. And they phoned me to like check in on me, and I was like, oh, this has happened. And they were like, oh yeah, as soon as you go once, don't take them again. However, I don't know if you're like, they were worried that I might back up for that long. And actually one of my good friends had similar surgery, and she had to go in for an enema because she couldn't go, and it was very, 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 very painful, and it was ginormous, to go into detail. But you know, no holds barred here. I want to share everything so you are prepared. So do the laxative, make sure it does its job, because it's painful otherwise. Skipping forward to like day 8, I actually really felt like I'd taken 2 steps back at this point. And this is just that roller coaster of recovery, because you think you've got it, you think you're fine, and then like out of the blue, you're having a really bad day. And yeah, I took a trip out, my first trip out to the dentist of all places, and I couldn't really even stand up. So I literally had to come home and went to bed, back to bed the rest of the day. So that was a frustrating day for sure. But I just think, like, take it ebbs and flows, take it as it comes, don't expect to do anything. Oh, one of the things that I found really difficult, because lots of people would say to me, oh, follow this person, follow that person. And the things I was finding difficult at this point was, at day 8, I was having a flare up like I would have pre-surgery. I'm talking like tugging, really feeling rotten, and the pain and the bloating, I was so bloated still. And I was like, I thought once I had the surgery, I would be better, or, you know, once the recovery is going through. Why am I having endometriosis pain? I get it if it's going to be other pain related to the surgery or the coil, but why was I having this pain that is very, you know, specifically endometriosis pain? Because the endo wasn't there anymore. They've taken it all out. So I really struggled with like people saying, oh, follow this person. And I'd look at their account, I think that's great. But then they're saying, like, they've had the surgery 3 or 4 times. My surgeon said to me, I got it all out. It's done. You're fine. It's taken out. So I was like, well, why does it come back? Why are people having it come back? I just don't know. So that was something I have really struggled with mentally, because I think it's really hard to like push forward and go like, oh, I'm recovering, when you see people saying that they've had multiple surgeries and they're flaring up again, and I was then flaring up as well. So that's definitely something to remember. I also would say that obviously I have to wait for my full cycle. I've now had my menstrual cycle. That day 8 would have been my like ovulation, which is when I was always getting the worst endo pain. So I don't know whether it just takes a while for your system. It's so complex down there. I just don't know if it's maybe like your cycle just having its turn and all of that sort of stuff. But now this cycle that I had has lasted like 10 days. So it's way more than I would normally have. Is this the coil? Like, I know when you get the coil, most people don't get a period anymore. So yeah, the just uncertainty, the flare-ups like pre-op, just are really difficult to process, because you just think, I can't surely still be going through this. Like, now I've had this operation, and the elation of feeling like you have been fixed or whatever, and then getting these pains again, it makes you feel really sad. So just know that at the moment I'm not obviously fully healed, but what I did want to say now is that I'm obviously week 6 now, I think, and I was in London yesterday filming a job, and I was like I felt tired, and I didn't get too much pain, but I was like, oh my gosh, like suddenly you just feel better, and it takes so long to get there that it's really, you kind of like don't realize it's happening. And I'm like, oh, okay, I actually feel better now. I can do these trips, although it was tiring. So yes, the end is in sight, or the pain-free part, if you're going through it is in sight, because I kept thinking, how long is this gonna last? And I was reaching out to people, and they were like, 3 weeks is when I started feeling normal. And I definitely did start feeling normal about 3 to 4 weeks, but you still have restrictions. And now I just think that I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I actually feel okay. But that's not to say I'm healed. Anyway, I need to go and get the children now from school, but I just thought I would share this update for anyone else that's going through this. Let me know if you've had the surgery and how you feel, and if you feel like your periods took a while to settle in. I'd really love that advice. I'm like on like 1.5, because I kind of had one straight afterwards, but I think that was the coil settling in. And I just don't, I've had a couple of those pre-op flare-ups now, and I'm like, please no. I just mentally, it would be so hard to go back there. So I'd love to know if anyone else has had that. Let me know what you're like sort of 6 weeks on. I have my appointment to see my surgeon on the 22nd of May, so I can update you then. I don't know if they'll do more scans. Obviously it didn't show up on the first scan, so it'd be really interesting to see when he can show me the pictures inside, because I can't wait to see like what it was like, given that I was living with this invisible condition for years and felt gaslit and I felt shamed and I felt all these different things. To be able to see it, it's almost like closure, like that was actually a thing. You did have a medical condition. So yeah, I hope this video is helpful if you're going through it or if you just wanted to know, and I will check in again soon. Obviously we're only 6 weeks now, so there will be more. I feel much brighter, much more positive. Just got to keep going, trust the process, that this is just all part of healing, and hopefully once my cycle is all settled, then I'll be back to hopefully pre-20s. Although I did have it when I was 18, I used to get really, really bloated. So God, that is like that's 23 years ago, which is crazy. Anyway, thank you so much for being here and caring enough to listen and be interested, and let me know all your comments below and share your stories, because I know it's so helpful for other people watching. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.